Welcome back to the channel. This is Football Temple brought to you by Azar Studios. Remember to follow us on all social media handles and please do subscribe and follow this page. If you are just watching us for the first time, click the notification button and follow. Okani Sam and the Bishop joins me as we look at Chelsea's triumph in the Conference League. First, even the Bible says, you know, so I know you are.
He's a bishop.
You're a bishop.
He's a bishop.
Correct me if I am wrong. The Bible says that you attack what is set in front of you. Yeah. The word attack is not the right word.
Just say he will set before you a table.
Exactly. And when he said before you, like this kind of table that has been set before me, what do I do is feast.
Yes, okay.
So Chelsea in front of them was the Conference League and they feasted.
Absolutely.
What verse of the Bible? We'll come to that. But guys, I know that a lot of bad belly communities will say that what is the value of winning?
Well, see,
in fact, somebody even said a team that lost all 8 games in the Champions League, Partizan Belgrade or so, had £22.8 million for losing all 8 games, and Chelsea are winning £22.4 million for winning the Conference League.
And
traveling to Sambisa, Maiduguri, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan. You know, all the stand in Europe.
48 hours journey.
Now that woman I don't like if you want to look at this issue, look at it from both angles.
Okay.
Yeah, look at it from both angles. Me, I talk him.
Financial aspects.
No financial aspect. I'm coming to them. I'm talking about now a trophy itself. As it stands right now, Chelsea is better than Man City and Arsenal this season.
Absolutely.
Please.
Better than Man City.
Chelsea is better than Man City
and Arsenal.
This
Man U now.
Okay, so
forget about Man U. Okay, Man City and Arsenal. And now I call these two teams. I call these two teams.
Man United will finish all very soon. Please.
I call these two teams. The reason why Liverpool is better than Chelsea is probably
they won the league.
Just because
they won the league.
If Liverpool didn't win the league, Chelsea would have been better than all this thing because they won a silverware.
Yes.
There's a silverware.
Chelsea can do like this.
Now, make I boss your head. Make I boss your head. You know, with all the noise, Chelsea is not doing well. You know, blah 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 blah. You know, Chelsea has actually been to to a final back to back.
Yes.
They were in the FA Cup final last year.
Carabao Cup final last year.
It's Carabao
when they lost to Liverpool.
No, lost to Man U now. You've forgotten. They lost FA Cup this into Man U. What took Man U to
FA Cup
Europe?
was City. Carabao
Cup. Yeah. Carabao Cup. Chelsea was in Carabao Cup final. As bad as Chelsea is. Now Chelsea
before that they were in the final of the FA Cup.
Before then, yeah.
Okay, right? Now, so in the past 3 seasons, Chelsea have been to final every year. Despite having, I mean, we're talking about in one of the seasons, they finished 12th in the other season.
12th, 6th.
They finished 6th. And guess what? In none of those seasons, the Chelsea finished with less. The gap between them and the winner is always more than 15 points. Absolutely. That's how bad it was. So it's not even about the season, but Chelsea still get to final. Now. We say something off the air. We say, look, football is two-way thing. One aspect to the honor, the other aspect to the fans. To the fans, it's all about the silverware. It's all about the victories. You understand? To the honors. Now, why are we not about the honors? Their money are their money. I'm not supporting Chelsea. If I'm supporting Chelsea today, it's not because of the money which Chelsea has.
Exactly. Because the money not going to touch my pocket.
It's not going to touch my pocket. It's the joy. It's the trophy they're winning.
When I buy merchandise.
Exactly. Whether an original fake, they go still take from you.
That's it. But what's making me supporting them is the joy. It's the game they're playing. It's the silverware that they're
so that I can brag.
So why would somebody think it's 22 off and so what about it? What is the word of Carabao Cup?
$150.
Mourinho they consider community as part of his silverware. So what are we talking about here? Yes. Look, at the end of the day, teams want silverware and Chelsea is one of them. And guess what? In Europe, not just even a local silverware, not even a Carabao Cup, not FA Cup. They won a silverware in Europe. Forget about the money. Forget about the teams that were actually in that competition.
The reason why don't even forget that it makes them the most successful team in Europe.
And they make them the only team that won every European competition.
Team. If you create a cup now in Europe, Chelsea will go there and win it.
So for those that are saying how much is out of the cup and they travel to this, they travel to that, and so what about it? At the end of the day, Chelsea fans have reason to smile.
See, I keep saying
Man City fans do not have reason to smile. Arsenal fans do not have reason to. Manchester United fans do not have reason. I don't even want to go back. Like you said, there's an embargo on talking about Arsenal from now.
Let's ban that.
Let's look at Chelsea.
So no, let me just conclude right.
Okay, go ahead.
Now let's just for now, let's back to the before winning that trophy because the money is not going to go into anybody's pocket. What makes me happy at the end of the day is the silverware, and what gives me that bragging right. I can talk to that I can banter other fans the way I want. Is the silverware that my team is winning.
See,
so
the truth is very simple. You have to beat one side before he took that work. I always say it every day. If I'm Real Madrid and they give me Aimba and I can give them 600-0,
I will do that.
I will take it all day long.
That's
That's
so
what.
why do you have to use Aimba as an example?
It's an example. I said
You
for
did not see
example.
Tipi Mezembe to use. You did not see Al-Ali. You use Aimba.
And you know the funniest thing? Do you know why? Sorry to say this.
You are bringing down Kanu one cup.
See, just to agree to what you actually said.
Yeah.
You remember that match where Victor Osimhen scored about 5 or 6 goals?
Yes.
Against Sao Tome and Principe.
Now, tomorrow,
Start part.
tomorrow, if
It's
they talk about
history.
Super, it's history.
Yes.
He's now busy chasing Rashidi.
Exactly.
Yeah,
From
yeah.
that game. And if he plays Sao Tome again tomorrow, he will score 5.
And
to
imagine
all
they will come play Sao Tome. World Cup qualify home and away.
So like for Chelsea, so say simple like you're trying to say. So what people expect? Manchester go the big
Lose. Better go beat Real Madrid.
Then give
they
you
give
Noah.
you
Then give you Noah. Beat Noah.
Beat Noah.
And they
They
defeated
give you
Noah very well.
Beat Bodo Glimt.
Them defeated them very well.
I know. I'm not saying
They give you Noah, build hack.
Just from the start of the tournament, see, like I was saying off air,
It was
they were
predictable.
favourite. I said,
Funny enough,
if Chelsea did not win that league, they would not only be a laughing stock in Europe,
of course,
they'll be a laughing stock in England.
people wanted them to be
And
so that they'll be a
people-
laughing
and
stock.
exactly.
Not because of any, just because they want them to be a laughing stock.
And apart from that, even if you don't know football and you hear Chelsea lost the final of the Conference League, the almighty Chelsea, it's a slap on the face. So, like I said, they've
It's not a slap on the face of the English league.
bless you again. Not only Chelsea,
Not
but the
only
league
Chelsea.
itself. So I think they've saved face, which is important. I don't care whether it is.
And they put a smile on their fans' face.
This Real Betis team is not really a bad team.
Yes,
they qualify
Sule is smiling.
They qualify for the Europa League.
Behind the camera.
They qualify for the Europa League. See, Betis are in the Europa League. They have players like Isco. They have Abdel Azazul, who was on target. They have Funal, who has won this competition before West Ham United.
Exactly.
They've got to Andrian.
And he wanted to also make history, becoming the first player to win it twice.
So, see, say what you want to say.
Did Adrian win the Champions League with Liverpool?
They want to Edra. How dare he?
He was not there when they won the Champions League. Maybe as a reserve goalkeeper. Maybe I was just trying to remember.
But the truth remains, come on, man, let's be realistic. I can see the tears in his eyes. He will never get 38 years. He may not get that chance again. So, at the end of the day, man, let's give Chelsea their flowers. But there's no flowers anyway. Like, so let's give them maybe a bottle or something.
Now,
but
if we want to
deserve
talk
it.
about the
They
other
deserve
angle,
it.
now we can talk about it boldly.
Yeah,
If you want to talk about
I'll do that next.
Give it to Igwe when you see Igwe.
Funny enough, now with this, right, you want to talk about the other side.
Yeah.
Now, do you know the one thing I've actually realized? The new format of the competition is going to make the competition. It's going to reduce competitiveness of these two tiers, the other 2 tiers of the competition. Now, where we're going to be having competition from now is what's instead of speaking is the Champions League itself. But you see the Europa League and the Conference League, there's not going to be competition at all completely. Because every
the
good
best
team
teams don't drop
goes
again.
to Champions League.
Lighten up, because
And
of
nobody
the-
drops down
drops
to
down,
any of this
yeah, nobody
competition.
drops down again.
So if whoever is going to be in,
Europa League.
Nottingham Forest.
Nottingham Forest might even have a goal at the if.
So you see,
You understand? So
and that's why
it makes
I
it
feel,
predictable.
And that's why I feel not to ban. Of course, we'll say we will not call them. Let me just say not to banter the other side of London.
So
Arsenal.
should they drop down and
No,
win the
it's
Europa League?
simple. Drop down and go and win the. Just win something. Drop down. Drop down and go and win something.
No. See,
Finish 7th
no,
and go to the Conference
come on.
League.
See, this guy wicked. How about concentrating in Carabao Cup? Because
Carabao Cup.
the thing we spoke about Chelsea, I'm coming.
Chelsea
Yeah.
were the first team in the
We
Carabao
spoke
Cup.
about
Under Mourinho.
FA Cup 2 years ago,
Yes.
Carabao Cup last year, and people are talking about it. And this time around conferences.
Newcastle, West Ham, Crystal Palace.
So
winning these
how about
titles.
Arsenal concentrating? I mean, you ask yourself this because we'll get there. You understand? Instead of them dropping to the second division of this, no, they concentrate on other smaller
Cups?
Carabao Cup,
trophies.
the FA Cup.
Now let's
Realistically.
talk about what this means. Let's talk about Cole Palmer first because it will be criminal to talk about Cole Palmer. Now you know
One hit
you
wonder.
have- yes, exactly.
One hit
Carly
wonder.
Sam thinks he's a one-hit wonder.
He
He
is.
had his reservation about Cole Palmer, but when Chelsea needed Palmer the most, he stepped up,
Yeah.
and it was not the goals because those goals were just goals, but the assist for the first
And
2
the second
goals
goal was
was heavenly because he created it out of nothing
You know what?
to put, of course, Enzo
I
first,
think Kakari is itching to say something.
and then he created it for
I want buzz in bubble
for
because I was something like this sometimes ago, right? When it matters the most,
Yeah.
right, step up.
Absolutely.
But he never agree. Saying just feel say it just happened. You understand? When it matters the most, right, step up. You remember? But he did not. So I wonder why you are speaking about Palmer in
I had to
in a
because
glowing
I also
manner.
said-
You understand? In
I
a
also
glowing
feel
manner.
like Cole Palmer is a one-season wonder. I also think so.
Sincerely speaking, he is. I still maintain that. Forget about that performance.
No, it's not.
Because we might not.
15 goals in the
next
league?
season.
Come
Next
on.
season.
You cannot see that
See
again
next season. See
Who told
next
you?
season.
Palmer will score double digits for as long as he's in Chelsea.
The problem we saw in the first season at Chelsea.
That's because he set a standard too high for himself.
Never.
He can never climb there.
It just work.
No, so
never.
It's just like saying Kevin De Bruyne scored 25 goals in Premier League. He can't. No matter how good he is.
Just like saying.
Because that's not
listen to me now. No. Just like saying, right. At times, I think just work for somebody.
Yes.
It works for Leicester. Where is Leicester today? They can never do it again. So the same thing.
No, let's not say they can never.
They might never be able to.
They've only
take another year. So I think that year
there's a chance, right?
That year it works.
Yeah.
It works for Palmer last year. It worked for Palmer perfectly. It works for Palmer. I think that year he has his Midas touch, positioning and everything. Not that his overall contribution was outstanding.
But everything he touched was turned to goal.
You understand? Yeah. Not that his overall contribution was outstanding. You could talk about his passes. Passing ability. You could talk about his marking ability and so many other things. But what in football they'll tell you, it doesn't matter. That what matters the most is winning and the goals. But look, everything comes together to amount to that goal, right? So I've watched him clearly. At some point, I was thinking, I know he's only experiencing a bad time. Just like I insisted, the Man City we saw this season, we're still going to see similar Man City next season. A lot has changed about Man City. So whether Foden is gone or not,
because he's struggling for form.
Not even Foden, you understand? A lot has changed about that team, right?
So the same thing. English player mentality, but let's focus.
So the same thing with Palmer. That I insisted. He had a wonderful final. Give it to him. Kudos to him. Big game player. When it matters the most, he stepped up. You understand?
I want to focus on the final with those two assists. The pass was exquisite, impeccable. The way he caressed the ball and you see even. The goal scored by Nicolas Jackson. He had no reason to celebrate that goal.
Like, what was he celebrating?
What was that for?
Now you scored the goal. They just give you ball. He just scored. He just chest inside the back of the net.
The pass was the goal. Same for
just like telling me.
For Enzo. Enzo was not the best guy in the air.
He's not telling me that the goal that Civilizations scored, he shouldn't celebrate because
he controlled the ball and smacked it.
No, he should celebrate.
Nicolas should celebrate, my friend.
Come on, Nicolas, man. Come on, that pass was good. So
no,
I think it was that pass for Enzo kickstarted the comeback. I mean, I was watching that game. After I got in, they were not going to look back. Apart from those two assists again, let me sit here. There was no Kopama in the first half. Isco that bossed the game.
Yeah, it was Isco's first
Kopama came in second half and had those two passes, bang, bang, and disappeared again.
That's it. But that's what matters.
Absolutely.
Those two passes amount to what? Victory.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Now, with all these things, right, like I said, there's something I would want to talk about, right? See, these two teams are not on the same level.
No way. One qualified for Champions League, one qualified for the Europa League.
When I discover, say,
very
the
obvious.
total spending
of Real Betis
since inception till date is £106 million.
Since they were established. Have you looked at the age?
No, forget about the age.
I know those players.
I am coming at
those Chelsea players. I have no right now to run them down to the ground.
I am getting at somewhere.
30. What's going on
about that? That's one aspect, right? From the beginning of Real Betis till date, their total spending is 606 million.
They're punching above their weight.
Chelsea spending last season is 570.
Yeah, those last season.
Now,
the
current value of this Real Betis side is £28 million. Caicedo alone is 3 times the value of this. So there was no basis for comparison.
They're punching above their weight.
Those that were saying this, I understand where they're coming from.
If Chelsea lost this game, they will have thrown them under the
bus.
Because Caicedo lost this game, you will bring drum. No, and masquerade for your village. Celebrate.
Essentially, if Caicedo alone is 3 times the value of Real Betis, with me the basis of comparison. So I understand those that want to say blah blah blah. After but come on, a silverware was at stake.
The quality,
a silverware was at stake, and they pick it with 2 of their hands. They won convincingly 4-1 in final. How many final have you seen people winning 4-1?
The last time they did it, they beat Arsenal in the final of the Europa League by 4-1 with Olivier Giroud scoring twice. Yes or no?
Yes.
I'll forgive your trespassing.
Yes or no?
But the truth.
You did not see that coming, right?
The truth remains, man. Come on. The golf in quality is like from here to...
Of course, that's why I just say right. That's why I just say right.
From here to Ikene,
that's no basis comparison.
And
that is my issue.
So I've been speaking of Ikene this day. What did you see? Because I don't trust... The way you've said Ikene like 25 million times today.
Man, come on, the gap is too much. If Chelsea don't want that game, I don't think...
There's no basis. Chelsea have no reason to lose that game.
I don't think Chelsea players won't sleep at night.
See,
they hunt them to the end of their career.
Let's go to Enzo Maresca quickly. Now, Italians have always found a way to succeed at Chelsea.
Always. Gianluca Vialli, Roberto Di Matteo,
Antonio Conte, and now, of course, Enzo Maresca. They've always had a way. When to win a title, no, let's look at it. Let's be honest. No. Wait, Okani-san.
Look,
as Maresca succeed, let me put it down this way. As Maresca succeed in Chelsea, for me, the answer is yes.
They have done
Let me spell it out.
He finished
He came into the club with the club finishing 6th.
Yeah.
He finished 5th.
The first mandate for him was
win
to
Champions League.
get the club back to Champions League.
Get the Champions League.
Now the Blues had not come back for Champions League for 2 years.
2 seasons.
The club did not say win the Premier League. Now
get us back to
they
Champions
also said if you win a title,
It's a
it's
plus.
additional.
Yes.
But the main aim for the club is
us
to get the club
Champions
back
League
to Champions League
football.
football.
Did he do
now,
that?
I
Yes.
agree that 2 things. He might not be directly responsible for the players that are in Chelsea because he did not sign them.
Absolutely.
Whether I would like it or not, we are giving excuse for Amorim that it's not his players.
I'm
So he did not
tired
sign them.
of giving that excuse.
No, I'm not giving. I'm
I'm
just
tired of
saying
giving the excuse
he
now,
didn't
yeah.
sign some of the players that
Yeah.
came into Chelsea.
Yeah.
The board bought the players. He got Chelsea back champions. Remember,
Finishing 4th.
Chelsea were close
Fourth,
at
oh.
sometime in November. There was talks of whether they could
Win the league.
when they were
And
2
he could
points
play it
adrift
down.
of Liverpool.
Yeah, he played it down.
But he played it down because he knew that the squad was not good enough to
Or
win the
he
league.
did not know what to do.
Or, so if you say by that standard,
He has
he's
not
passed.
from
No,
him.
he has passed what was given to him.
And now here is it, right? Thankfully, you guys
Win
were
a trophy
You
and
guys,
back to Champions
you guys were
League.
talking about him in the context of other Italians.
Yeah.
That's where you guys are coming from. Context of other Italians. Now, so let's just go back with the last Italian that was in that team, which is Conte.
Conte.
He came and made Chelsea in which position? 10th.
10th. I won the league.
And won the league immediately. And he didn't spend this much to win the league. Now you can actually say, I'm coming.
Maresca did not spend.
I mean, whether
board has
Maresca
spent.
or Chelsea,
The board has
Chelsea,
spent.
right?
Yeah.
Now, do you know the most unfortunate thing? This is the same thing that Maresca is going to get stuck with for the next 2 or 3 seasons.
Yes, because of
PSR.
The PSR, yes.
Yeah,
There's
exactly.
nothing he can do. And for him to be able to sign, he must let go enough.
somebody, yeah,
now,
somebody.
you're talking about a team that it needs spending because people normally get it wrong. You say Chelsea spend 1 point. Yeah, I understand that Chelsea spend
Almost 2 billion now.
1 point something billion. But the net spending, the amount of money they actually spend by the time you take away the sales. Now,
yeah.
people only talk about Chelsea spending, but people don't talk about Chelsea
Chelsea
player
sales.
sales. Now, the net spending is £778 million in the last 2 seasons. That's huge. You invested that amount of this thing. So that team, a team that such amount of money has been invested in finishing 4th and winning a conference league, sincerely speaking, it's not an achievement. And with a coach like Maresca, like you said, right?
From
You
championship.
we've seen things happen. I
So-
told you that. Listen to me.
You continue.
No,
You're not convinced with what Maresca is doing at Chelsea.
no, not at all. Not at all.
That's
Now,
not
you
that
said
good.
from championship, right? Where did Arsene Wenger come from? Japan.
And the rest
So
is history.
not even use that one at all. Now he was around. Funny enough, he was around the league itself. I think he was an assistant to Pep.
Pep at some point.
And he was still in
also,
the league.
He also learned from a certain man, Pellegrini, who he beat in the
You
final.
understand?
So he calls his
now,
football dad.
with this that you have, my point is this, right? With what you have at your disposal, sincerely speaking, this is an underachievement.
That means punching below
Because
his
you
weight.
wouldn't have a team.
He's
that,
punching below his weight.
you wouldn't have a team,
Okay. He's punching below
by
his
far,
weight. Okay.
by far, because
I know I'm asking these questions.
because we believe that for you to spend that amount of money, these players are good enough.
But they want it. Average players.
Well, I don't care.
It looks like
I
money
don't care.
laundering
Now,
scheme.
that's what we're coming
That's what
from.
Chelsea are doing.
Yeah. That's the issue right now. For you to spend that amount of money, you're buying Caicedo for £100 million. You're buying what's his name?
close to
for
that.
100 million. It shows they are decent players. I can't buy a player for
desperate.
£100 million, and you're going to be giving him some excuses that
He's not good enough.
he's not. No, not tell me that because you've seen him.
Okay.
They know decision make you go buy him.
But to be sincere with you, let me say
so-
something. I don't. Okay.
See, Maresca, sincerely speaking, forget about all these
failure.
stories of this thing. You're talking about him moving Chelsea from 4 to 6, I mean from 6 to 4.
fourth.
We're talking about a Conte that took Chelsea from 10 to 1st immediately.
So to you, it's a no. Anyway, I quite agree with him. No, you know, I talk about Maresca. I think he's a young protege. You're buying a original jersey, but you're getting a fake one in return. That's what I see. It's just
meaning you went to Abba.
Exactly. You're paying the price for original jersey, but getting a fake one. Because to be sincere with you, like you said, this was the man who was 2 points adrift the leaders. At some point, they were like, "Oh, you're gonna win the league," and he played it down. He didn't play that. He watered it down. And to get them to play Champions League, people are celebrating. We don't need to celebrate. Look at the quality of players. Do you see Chelsea's bench?
So how many of those players will start in Arsenal?
At least they've got bench now.
That's why. No. When you said quality, how many of them will walk
You
into
can't
the
buy
Arsenal
players
starter?
that
We even start from Arsenal.
Exactly.
Not even the
That's
bench.
just it.
No, I mean that's what I'm saying. I'm even saying the entire team.
$50
How
million
many?
pounds and put him on the bench.
The only player in Chelsea that can
fault
afford
is it?
How many players in Arsenal's bench that
So is it Maresca's fault?
It's Chelsea. It's Chelsea.
It's like
Chelsea.
And funny enough, right?
Tactically wise, but that's not the man.
funny enough, right? He knew. Okay, this is
So he knew what was at stake.
So he walked
He
into it. He believed he has the
change- to
capacity
change the
to
tide.
change
Okay.
everything.
So-
So don't
so-
excuse him.
Conte came and Chelsea
Yeah,
just
don't
excuse it.
When
Do you
Chelsea
know
were
why?
lowest of low,
Do you know why?
What they do was tweak the formation to play 3 at the back.
Do you know why?
And then they started playing good football.
Sincerely
What
speaking,
happened? Maresca down to tweak this thing together. They said they're getting worse every day. See, the reason why
sincerely-
they come out because these boys are bad.
Sincerely
Everybody in
speaking,
the
right?
Conference League are bad.
See, sincerely
Let me
speaking, right?
sincere.
With what Conte did again this season with Napoli.
With Napoli.
I don't want to excuse anybody.
Exactly.
I don't want to excuse
One
anybody.
season bang, he's won the league.
He picked them at 10 again and won the league with them. And not even picking them at them, he let go their best player. One
during
Victor
summer.
Second
during the winter.
During the winter, and he still went ahead and win the league.
With Scott McTominay. With players like Billy Gilmore.
Billy
Gilmore, yeah.
That player is not good enough.
It's not good enough. He said we'll make a decision on his future. Meanwhile, Chelsea are in the hunt to sign Liam Delap, or shall I say Chelsea are close to completing the deal for Liam Delap. Chelsea fans complain they need a striker. How do you go from Jackson to Delap? Please make sense of it now. So
I think it's disastrous, totally unacceptable. It is horrendous. I think it's more or less comical to see you going from Jackson to Liam Delap, from not so proven player to not even proven at all. This is a player that Man City let go of. Okay, he scored few goals in Leicester City.
Man City let go of Palmer.
And we see Palmer right now. He's having fun with the
Ipswich, not Leicester. Ipswich.
I'm saying he's been pitched down, scored a few goals, they got relegated, and all you want to do is pay 30. See, I don't know.
It's cheap buy. It's cheap buy. It's cheap buy. 30 million for Delap. The player who scored double digits in the Premier League is cheap buy.
When it comes to that, right, at times, this is very, very complicated. Because when we're talking about going on relegation, I remember Andrew Robertson was going on relegation with Hull City.
And then he got in. But he was a good player.
No, here is
he was a stand-up player.
No, Liverpool was actually working out for them. They have a data department that work on data so much. He wasn't the first option, as a matter of fact. It was Emerson that was their first option. Then Emerson got injured. They now went for him. They were looking for a defender who offensive minded, and he almost ticked all the boxes. So probably Chelsea is looking for a striker. Maybe we didn't see the best of Liam. I'm not saying he's
12 goals in 40 in the Premier League.
Yes,
12 goals
more than Jackson. Are you talking about right now? Maybe we didn't, but Jackson has injury. But it's not an excuse too. Though. Forget about.
I don't see Jackson as a striker. Apologies to every Jackson.
Now Chelsea is looking for a striker, right? Fact, everybody knows. Not just Chelsea. A lot of teams.
If a team going to the Champions League, is Liam Delap the team to take Chelsea to the Champions League?
Here is the truth.
Maybe they'll sign a better striker. It's a cheap buy. And loan him and amortize him for 7 years. Chelsea are used to it.
Look at the cost of buying him, 30 million pounds.
It's a paltry sum.
That's terribly cheap.
Yeah, paltry sum.
And for a guy who is playing for a side that relegated and scored 12 goals, bro, you ask now, nobody scored 10 goals.
Really?
All of them were in the doctor's office.
Forget about the doctor's office.
Imagine if you had a Liam Delap leading your line last season.
For how long?
Delap leaving what line?
No. So just suppose the fact that he had 12 goals with Ipswich Town.
Okay.
Now, so just suppose he put him in the Arsenal squad, leading the line for the Arsenal in the Premier League.
More than 12 goals, most likely.
So which means that
what Arsenal
now look at the chances where Merino, where you cross the ball for Merino is behind. Cross the ball for Kai Havertz is behind.
Yeah.
If you had a Liam Delap, and this guy, remember, is strong.
But it's powerful.
Delap is strong.
Yeah.
See, so the truth is this, right? Now, here is it. I understand where he's coming from. I equally understand because I know Chelsea needs a proven striker. So of all strikers that Chelsea should be looking for, it shouldn't be Liam Delap. Even if they're going for a Liam Delap, they should be going
as a backup.
As a fringe
what
player.
What is going to be a backup?
We don't know yet.
For now, we don't know.
Because I feel that when I saw the deal, I was like, okay, what's Chelsea needing this guy?
He's going to, mind you, Maresca has said he's going to stick with Jackson. He's the only thing. So how many strikers you want to get in that team?
No, Jackson is not maybe
I don't understand.
On the flank. Because John Felix may not return. John Felix may not return.
There's a problem.
Chelsea has not made their decision on Jadon Sancho yet.
Like I said, at times, right, some of these things are beyond the coaches.
Yes, he can't do much.
Yeah.
Who is the sport director at Chelsea? Who does the businesses at Chelsea? And that's the question. I don't know who does it should be beaten. I don't know. Okay. So 40 million pounds, you keep him on the bench. 80 million pounds, you tell him it's not good enough. That you are grooming someone for 50 million pounds. See, Chelsea should stop buying prospects and buy proven players.
We've spoken about this over and over. Phantom ground shoes, proven players win trophies for you, not prospects. Arsenal was there during Arsene Wenger when they moved to their new stadium. They're like, next season, Danielson and co, and blah 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 blah, and they keep falling short of that. They will never get it.
They've improved to a certain level and they leave.
What do you see this season, right?
And they want to win titles.
What do you see this season, right? It there's not going to be a significant improvement in Chelsea. Forget about what you see Cole was doing. Forget about the defense, from the goalkeeping department down to defense. If there's not going to be a reasonable clear out, yes, and bringing in new this thing, the same thing you're talking about. This is at the end of next season, you will still be talking about the same thing.
Well, the guys have said that Chelsea must improve in almost all aspects.
Some people say this, just like the Arsenal was celebrating qualifying Champions League as trophy.
For yeah,
Chelsea
back
don't
then,
reach
Chelsea
there
are
right
now
now.
in that scenario.
And it might continue if Chelsea did not change.
Chelsea may not. As I sure they will get there. Chelsea may not be sure.
No, I'm talking about back then now. Arsenal was celebrating.
Yes,
third
now
as-
Chelsea's not
third.
getting there.
Well, to not make it
Chelsea-
interesting, Chelsea goes straight into part 1 of the Champions League
Yes,
draws with
that's-
Arsenal in part 2 of the Champions League
Coefficient.
Yeah, coefficient, of course.
Unfortunately.
Fortunately for Chelsea and unfortunately for Arsenal, so Chelsea will avoid
Some
the
big-
likes
big
of
hitters.
Manchester. Well, they cannot even play Manchester City.
Big
They will
hitters.
avoid Real Madrid,
Yeah.
Bayern Munich, Barcelona,
the top guys, yeah.
you know, Inter Milan, Napoli, if I'm not mistaken.
No, not
in the
Napoli.
Napoli are league champions.
Yeah, I think Chelsea.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Napoli are league champions. So they're
Into
going
pot one.
into
Pot
pot
one.
one, you know, in the Champions League, and then they'll be playing maybe in Galatasaray, you know.
At least to warm them up.
To warm them up. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for coming. Well, maybe Victor Osimhen might come to Chelsea, but you never can tell. Leon Delap to Chelsea looks like he's almost done and dusted. But for Chelsea fans, congratulations on winning the Conference League, and congratulations to also playing in Champions League football. But will Chelsea make a significant impact next season, or will it be a struggle? The transfer market looks like it might be a struggle already, with the first signing looking like Leon Delap, and the second signing might just be Jadon Sancho on a permanent basis. But the Blues head to the Club World Cup, of course, next month, where they will be participating before the Premier League season will start, and then we are back to banter whoever does not do well. Football Temple brought to you by Azar Studios.